A new report shows how rising grocery prices are impacting shoppers. We'll break down the numbers for common food items coming up.
And overall, nice start to the week. Daytime highs today expected to be into those mid to upper 70s. Some sunshine. We'll talk about some rain chances for the end of the week coming up.
And Pope Francis is out of the hospital, but not out of the woods. More on the lengthy recovery expected after a near-fatal illness.
A live look outside in Bentonville at 6:30 this morning. Good morning there. 5 News This Morning starts now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on 5 News. It is definitely spring. It's feeling like it. Hope you had a great weekend and enjoyed that weather. I think things are starting to bloom a little bit.
Yeah, starting to bloom a little bit. I think overall a nice start to the week. Very spring-like forecast where we have some warmer air to start the week, then those rain chances towards the end of the week as well. Here's a look at what we're tracking over the next several days. Nice start today. 70s, mostly sunny skies expected for our Monday and Tuesday. The one change that comes for the work week forecast is going to be for our Wednesday. It's when a weak cold front passes through. Maybe a spotty shower, but really we're just going to get cooler for at least one day. Those rain chances so increasing by the time we get to the end of the week, really going into this weekend. That's where we have multiple rain chances. Could lead to some substantial rainfall, but also maybe the chances for a few isolated thunderstorms this upcoming weekend. Current temperatures as you head out the door this morning, not too bad. Need that light jacket though. Upper 30s, low 40s, northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Again, we're going to see plenty of sunshine for today. Some light winds out of the south should boost our afternoon highs as well. We take a look at northwest Arkansas the rest of the day today. A mix of sun and clouds all day long. Daytime highs eventually reach up into those low to mid 70s this afternoon across the River Valley. Again, getting a little bit warmer. Daytime highs by the time we get to this afternoon into those upper 70s. Will be upper 70s, low 80s for tomorrow. We'll talk about those rain chances for the end of the week into the weekend coming up. All right, let's get a traffic update for you this morning. Here is a live look out across I-49 there at Walton Boulevard. No accidents to worry about for your morning commute this morning. Overall, a nice start to our Monday.
Have you noticed the bloom out there, Morgan?
Yeah, starting to. I love this time of year when, I don't know what those flowers are called, but the trees get white. Yeah. And it's just for like a short time.
It's the dogwoods, right?
Yes, that's what it is.
They're an invasive species, but they're beautiful. Pretty. They're
beautiful, but they smell bad and
they do smell bad.
They hurt the ears.
All right, well, losing track of your retirement savings might sound unlikely, but it does happen a lot more than you think. Millions of Americans have those accounts from previous jobs that they've forgotten about.
Well, now the Department of Labor has a new tool to help people track down those lost funds. Morgan, this sounds like it could help a lot of people find money that they didn't even know they had.
Yeah, for a lot of people, that could be thousands of dollars of forgotten money. And accounting experts say as people change jobs more frequently, many lose track of those old 401k accounts, leaving those funds behind. But a new database from the Department of Labor aims to make finding those funds much easier. It's called the Retirement Savings Lost and Found Database, and the department says it helps Americans track down misplaced 401k accounts. Users can put in their information and past employers to check for any accounts they may have forgotten about. Accounting professor Usha Ratcliffe says there are about 30 million forgotten 401k accounts in the country. That adds up to more than $1.5 trillion in unclaimed retirement savings.
There's been a lot of movement, and sometimes people forget. They forget who they work for, maybe how much money they had, what they put in there.
The Department of Labor says the tool is user-friendly and secure, and this can all be done online. Morgan Wrigley, 5 News.
Well, in consumer news, new numbers are showing how much Americans are paying at the grocery store compared to this time last year. Poultry, pork, and milk saw average prices decline from January to February, but the cost of other pantry staples like cereals, baked goods, and seafood increased. That's according to the Food at Home Index, which rose nearly 2% over the last 12 months. The report is a key measure of inflation that's based on food consumed at home.
Every year they're rising about 2%, which is pretty close to the overall rate of inflation. We're all should buckle in here and expect food prices to continue to rise at a healthy pace.
Well, the report also found egg prices are nearly 59% higher than they were this time last year. The cost of beef is up more than 7.5% since February of 2024.
Well, food banks say that they are concerned about how Cuts the White House is making to the federal budget could impact their mission. The Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma has plenty of local support from volunteers to school students who collect canned goods to donate. But the food bank also relies on the USDA to provide both funding and commodities to decrease hunger.
Right now, I think what we're seeing is concerning, but not an emergency. But if all the cuts that are being talked about actually happen, it's going to be an emergency level event.
Well, Bernard estimates that Oklahoma will lose $25 million from the USDA cuts already announced. In Pryor, Oklahoma, that money helped the school district buy ground beef from a local producer, supporting both farmers and schools feeding students. The USDA supports a network that meets some of the need for 1 in 3 Oklahomans.
Well, this morning, Pope Francis is waking up at home for the first time since mid-February. That's when he was hospitalized with severe respiratory illnesses.
Well, Derek Waller reports on the huge crowds that greeted him Sunday and the difficult road of recovery ahead.
It was a moment some people had prayed about for weeks. Pope Francis wheeled out onto this 10th floor balcony at the hospital he's called home since February 14th, giving a thumbs up to this massive crowd Sunday.
A tutti. E vedo.
Thank you to everyone, the Pope said, his voice faint, before finding time to point out and greet a woman with yellow flowers. That woman, Carmelo Mancuso, rejoiced in Italian at the shout out from the pontiff, saying she felt an emotion and thanked the Lord. The moment also broadcast live to crowds in the Vatican's St. Peter's Square, where every night for weeks the faithful gathered to pray the rosary.
You know, it's a wonderful moment. It's very moving. It seems that God listens to the prayers of the whole church.
Francis left the hospital Sunday sitting in the passenger seat of his trademark modest Fiat, the oxygen tubes visible from his nose after that near-fatal 5-week battle with double pneumonia. Now, the 88-year-old's recovery at home expected to take 2 months.
There's been a lot of speculation about whether Pope Francis will resign after this health crisis. It depends on how he thinks that he will be able to run the church after this illness.
Out of the hospital and on the road to recovery. I'm Derek Waller, CBS News.
Well, Pope Francis returns home during the Catholic Church's Jubilee Holy Year, which happens every quarter century. Millions of people are making this pilgrimage to the Vatican, many hoping to see the Pope.
Well, the Trump administration is back in court today, this time for oral arguments in its appeal of a federal judge's decision. The judge temporarily blocked the use of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act in the push to quickly deport alleged Venezuelan gang members without due process. Trump's border czar Tom Homan says that the administration will abide by court orders in the case, while adding that deportation efforts will not stop. Meanwhile, CBS News has learned that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz will travel to a U.S. military base in Greenland this week. President Trump has repeatedly said he wants the U.S. to take over the territory, a territory within the Kingdom of Denmark.
We need Greenland because of national security, international security.
The White House says that Second Lady Usha Vance will also travel to Greenland this week to visit cultural sites.